Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Elisa Marie Designs. I am Elisa Maria. Welcome back if you are back. Welcome if you are new as I search for my book. Today is Self-Care Sunday. And I actually read this. I read March 2nd. So if you're following along in the book, and some of you have gone out and gotten this book, and I'm so happy for you and you're loving it. When I read this last night, I thought to myself, I could do this reading, but this is my husband's wheelhouse, and I had a bunch of questions that I would only trust him to answer, because like I said, this is his wheelhouse. So I waited for him to come in. He was boxing this morning, and I asked him if he would join us, and he's going to read for you. I know how much you guys love that. So while he is saying hello or whatever, I said, John, I have my diamond painting in front of me. I have my angel in front of me that I used last night with my members. Thank you all for making time on such short notice and showing up yesterday for our member meetup. It was so much fun, and I hope you got the follow-up post that I sent out after. So I'm going to go make us coffee. Now, either he's going to talk to you or he's going to peruse this and he's going to read it and then read to you. But I will be back with coffee, and then we're going to have a little coffee chat and diamond painting. He's here. Hold on.
Good morning, Elisa Maria Designs members and subscribers. Greetings and salutations to you all on this glorious Sunday, March 2nd, in the year of our Lord, 2025. I just want you all to know, thank Elisa for that wonderful introduction she gave to me, but I want you to know she refused to brief me at all.
Oh, no.
I have no idea what it is she wants me to read. The only context I have is I heard her just tell you guys whatever it is, it's in my wheelhouse. So hopefully, I can do you justice and don't disappoint. So let's see what Elisa Marie has in store for us today. Wait, honey, there's 87 bookmarks in this thing. How am I supposed to know what page?
March 2nd.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Sorry, people. I need light. I'm blind. Okay. March 2nd. The title of the essay is called More Power to You. Here we go. Originally, the word power meant able to be. In time, it was contracted to mean to be able. We suffer the difference. I was waiting for a plane when I overheard two businessmen. One was sharing the good news that he had been promoted, and the other, in congratulations, said, "More power to you." You know, the old, oh my Lord, my memory does not serve me at the moment. The old bromide, more power to you. Okay. Now, I've heard this expression before, but for some reason I heard it differently this time and thought, what a curious sentiment. As a good wish, the assumption is that power is the goal. Of course, it makes a huge difference if we are wishing others worldly power over things, people, and situations, i.e. controlling power. By inner power, I mean power that comes from being a part of something larger, connective power. I can't be certain, but I'm fairly sure the wish here was for worldly power, for more control. This is commonplace and disturbing, as the wish for more always issues from a sense of lack Ooh, I like where this is going, people. So the wish for more power really issues from a sense of powerlessness.
Much sugar?
So, yes. Can I have, I don't know, 1 lump or two? 2 lumps, please.
I will stir it for you.
Please do. Look at
So,
this.
let
Look at this lovely wife I have. She puts the lumps in my coffee and stirs it for me too.
Yeah, you got a self-stirring cup too.
That's right. I got a self-stirring cup.
So when I read this, more power to you, the first thing I thought of was,
Oh, good, man. Very good.
I don't want to break your train of thought. So
You said
that's
okay. I'm going to go back to the reading. So the last line I read was, so the wish for more power really issues from a sense of powerlessness. Now, I would say I like the line before that. This is commonplace and disturbing, as the wish for more power always issues from a sense of lack. Because Elisa and I have been speaking about this, and I was introspecting, and I was thinking about, my life, my home, my wife, my cat, and I have this bad tendency to look at, say, for instance, the clock, and it's 11:30, and in my mind I'm going, oh my God, there's not much time left. I'm going to be tired. I'm going to go to bed by like 6, 7 o'clock. My battery's almost empty. And again, I like the word the view of the world in terms of famine or lack of resources, which in this case the resource is time. But also I do the same thing, because my mind works the same way all the time, in terms of I think about money, our financials. And I just retired in the post office, and as a man who's been productive his whole entire life, but only recently married, and now I'm responsible for my wife and our family, including the cat over here. I sometimes look at my financials through the lens of, there's not enough. We don't have enough money. And I realize that is an outlook, and it's a viewpoint, and it's a mistaken viewpoint, because $10 is $10. And so the person who views $10 as not much, lacking, is probably the person who desires a $100 lunch or dinner. But the person who looks at $10 as a lot and much is the hard-working, let's just use the stereotype, Mexican who's got, a wife and a kid, and he's going to go buy, say, a 50-pound bag of rice with that $10. And that rice is going to last him for 6 months to feed his family. And again, my rhetoric and my nomenclature that I like to use is, in terms of viewpoints, I like the word sense of life. So there are two conflicting senses of life, meaning how do you view yourself? How do you view other people? How do you view mankind? And how do you view the world and the universe in general? So the positive way is called a benevolent universe sense of life. And I'll speak about that in a minute. But I just want to contrast it with its opposite. The opposite is a malevolent universe sense of life. Now, you have to understand these are pre-conceptual ideas. So this does not include ideas like philosophy, which, philosophical ideas are hopefully are already thought out, and they speak broadly about all of life. But these two senses of life are before philosophy. So I spoke too much. Let me get back to the.
Are you having more coffee?
No, this is enough.
So while you were talking, and I was thinking about like what the like what you're zoning in on and what I zoned in on from that reading, like again, male, female, yin yang, two different perspectives. But you brought up a good point. Like, how do you look at the money that you have? And I always, like, we both worked for people. We both had employment at jobs, but most of my career was always being self-employed. Even when I had a job that I was working for someone, I was always out on my own doing something to be self-employed. But no matter if I was self-employed or I was working for someone, $10 to me was always like, maybe it was being like a young single mother.
You could stretch $10?
Yeah.
Yeah, so again, we are both from a culture that I would just qualify as South Philly Italian.
Yeah.
And Philadelphia is Philadelphia, but South Philly is South Philly. It's not the same thing. And then South Philly Italian is even more narrow.
It's like being Italian and Sicilian.
And we come from the same culture, my wife and I. And so I'm a baby boomer. My father fought in World War II and married my mother in 59, and I came along in 1964. It's supposed to be the very last year for baby boomers. They talk about the baby boom after World War II, and they use 1964 as the cutoff. So we're both considered baby boomers. And I know my mother and father, I guess, probably had the same outlook as Elisa's mother and father, because we are very much simpatico and alike in that we're very frugal. We are, and again, when I say frugal, what I mean is we're looking for bargains. We're looking for value. This has nothing to do with generosity or spending of money, because we're very generous people and we spend money. When I want to go out to dinner with my wife, I'll buy a $50, $60 bottle of Chateauneuf du Pape to take with us. And here's a perfect example. We prefer, not always, but we prefer BYOBs, because when you go to a BYOB, you can bring really good wine, and it's going to be better than what the liquor license people will serve you. And again, if I were to buy a bottle of Chateauneuf du Pape in a place that sold it, that's going to be $150, not $50. And so that's what we mean when we like value and we're frugal, because now we can maybe drop $100 on appetizers and food, and then dessert and coffee, and the wine. Again, it's added to the price. But so again, we are by no means cheap, but we are frugal. So anyway, should I get back to this?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right.
I'm listening.
All right.
Listening in with everybody else, drinking my coffee, sitting back, relaxing.
So
loving this.
it is painfully ironic that in the land of the free, that's America, we so often walk about with an unspoken and enervating lack of personal freedom. Yet the wish for more controlling power will not set us free, any more than another drink will quench the emptiness of an alcoholic in the grip of his disease. It makes me think of a game we played when I was 9 called King of the Hill, in which 7 or 8 of us found a mound of dirt, the higher the better, and the goal was to stand alone on top of the hill. Once there, everyone else tried to throw you off, installing themselves as King of the Hill. It strikes me now as a training ground for worldly power. Uh-huh. Clearly, the worst position of all is being King of the Hill. You are completely alone and paranoid. never able to trust anyone, constantly forced to spin and guard every direction. The hills may change from a job to a woman to a prized piece of real estate, but those on top can be so enslaved by guarding their position that they rarely enjoy the view.
Okay.
And hold on.
All right.
I have the
me
most.
too.
I have the most appropriate turn of a phrase for this, which is, heavy is the head that wears the crown. That's exactly what I think of.
You do?
Yeah, why? What do you think?
I think that, when I finally became successful, like in like the restaurant business that I was in, or let me not even talk about the restaurant business. Let me talk about the fact that I always wanted to be a makeup artist. And my first attempt at it, I failed. Right? I got knocked off. I wasn't king of the hill. And then I took some time to do something else, but I always came back to the makeup. I always wanted to own my own makeup company.
And you did, and you were successful.
Yeah, but I had to do the work, right?
Of course. Nobody
does the work for you.
Nobody gets to the top of the stairs that has 12 steps without stepping on all 12 steps. There is no way to get from the bottom to the top other than baby stepping it up. That's in any value that you wish to achieve. You have to do the work to get the value.
I don't think that I was ever shortcutting anything. I just thought that I knew everything because I had such a passion for it, and you don't. Like, it's like the chef that wants to go into the kitchen and wants to create his dishes. He does nothing about running the restaurant. He doesn't want to be bothered with the reservation book. He just wants to do his craft. So I just wanted to do my craft. But I had a lot that I had to learn. If I wanted to,
I have a more philosophical view of this whole discussion, this essay, and which is, me personally, I reject the whole idea of King of the Hill, because King of the Hill implies that I can only succeed by keeping other people down.
That's what I didn't like.
That's false.
Yeah.
That's what's known as a false dichotomy, and that's, in my opinion, where America, land of the free, comes into this picture, because America is the first country founded on the idea of liberty and rights, and so your rights are yours by virtue of the fact you were born a man, but they only extend as far as the other man. You cannot infringe on the other man's rights.
Right.
Now, again, I don't want to go off on a tangent about the government, because I don't like the government picking winners and losers, and they do that all the time. So,
but you can be king of the hill, and you can take your friends along with you.
You can and you should, but I think that my idea is that so the way I view the whole King of the Hill paradigm is that if you make King of the Hill a goal, and then you set that goal, and then you work step by step to achieve that goal, then you are in fact King of the Hill. But I reject the whole idea of that we're in competition and that it's a zero-sum game. That whatever, if I again, I own guitars. I'm a guitar player. I have a beautiful guitar. Again, I didn't hurt anyone. I didn't steal the guitar. I didn't cheat the man that sold me the guitar. And so I just reject the whole idea of this dog-eat-dog world, and you have to kill or be killed.
I do the same thing with diamond painting. People will ask me, what do you think of this company? What do you think of that company? How does this company compare to that company? And I'm like, I don't compare. Because everybody's on their own journey. Yeah. Diamond painting, Emporium, or diamond art painting shop. I'm getting them all confused. Whatever they are, they're on their own journey. I don't know what step they are.
So,
are on.
is it your idea that each of these different companies has something to offer you.
Yes.
But only if you agree to the transaction. In other words, they say, "Hey, I got this painting, this canvas for you, and it's $20, it's $80, it's $100.
Right.
If you agree that that canvas is worth that dollar amount, you trade your hard-earned dollars for that canvas. That's America.
Okay, so it's the canvas that I'm doing right now. This is a very affordable canvas. Is it going to have the drills that let's say King of the Hill right now, I think everybody agrees, is Diamond Art Club. They're like the leader, and everybody aspires to.
Are they more expensive than the other companies?
They're more expensive, but they
have a better product.
I don't know how long they've been in business.
They have a better product?
I don't know how long Dreamer Designs has been in business.
I don't
know how long this guy's been in business.
I think this is a perfect segue into a pizza place just opened up around the corner from us just last Thursday.
Amazing.
And it's a fella who I know. I went to 9th grade with him. I'm not close with him, but my walking partner George is close with him because the fellow who opened the pizza place, Danny, was a St. Monica's guy. And so George is a St. Monica's guy, and they went to grade school together, and they did a lot of ball playing together, And so anyway, George had told me that Danny opened up this pizza place, and he went there, got a pie, gave him a plate, and he said it was really good. And I said, well, tell me what you ordered. And he told me I ordered a square pie, and he cautioned me. He said, my wife did not like the fact that there were sesame seeds on the bottom of the thing.
Amazing.
And my wife didn't like that, but I did.
I loved it.
So I didn't say anything to my wife. I just went and got the same pizza, square pie, just plain pizza. And she loved the sesame seeds, as did I. But to bring it back home to this conversation, we both agreed the tomato and the mozzarella was absolutely bursting with freshness. And it made a beautiful pizza. Don't get me started. The pizzas now cost $25 for a pizza. But
look at what coffee cost you.
Yeah.
I went into Starbucks. I was like, "That what?" I said, "No, that's not my order." They're
I
like,
don't
you ordered this. But
I don't go to
Starbucks. It was like $9. I was like, "Are you kidding me? I could buy a pound of coffee."
I don't go to Starbucks.
Talk about value.
Let's get back to the reading, folks. I always hated King of the Hill. Always felt tense in my gut when king. Sad when not. And ostracized if I didn't want to play. The pattern has followed me through life. But now as a tired adult, there was a time when I could relate to that tired adult, but not anymore. Since I retired, I feel great. That pattern has followed me through life. But now as a tired adult, when I feel alone and powerless atop whatever small hill I've managed to climb, I secretly long for anyone to join me. Now, I'm ready to believe there's more power here together. Well, for me at least, as a lifelong bachelor who married at the age of 57, it's my wife. She's my world, and she is the person that I want to join me on top of any hill that I climb. And that's just, that's just the way my life is. Like, any victory, any value that I succeed or create, I want to share it with Elisa. And so go ahead, you want to take it?
I think when I was reading this, maybe I was tired last night, and probably when we got to this, the opening where it said more power to you, and it used to be that power was able to be.
Yeah, originally the word power meant able to be. In time, it was contracted to mean to be able.
To be able.
So I haven't
sad thing to read.
I haven't actually contemplated those two lines long enough.
Well, he said we suffer the indifference.
Meant to be. I know the next line is we suffer the difference, but I still haven't thought long and hard enough and digested the meaning of the first two sentences.
It's almost like, no, you're just a man. There's no to be able, right? You're just a man.
Remember thou art mortal.
Yes.
Remember thou art mortal.
Right. So now it's like, it went from able to be, and then it was to be able. It's just like the saddest words I've ever read.
But I still
it's
have.
It's like taking what you just said about our birthright to be life, liberty, to pursue the happiness, and to be able. You're able. You're able to do whatever you set your mind to.
As opposed to be able. Right, there is a difference.
Yeah.
There is a difference. Able to be able. Right, yeah. Able to be.
Yeah, you're able to be.
So I guess
it's going from impossible to possible.
I guess what we're really talking about is
I'm trying to make it hard.
No, I think what we're really talking about is potential. Able to be means you have the potential inside of you. Mm-hmm. Able to be a writer, able to be a singer, able to be a weightlifter, able to be a race car driver, as opposed to be able.
So then the other thing that came to mind was, is the word power and force different?
Oh, yes. Power and force are definitely different.
Because I was going back to Star Wars.
No,
people go back to Star Wars and the Wizard of Oz.
Power and force are absolutely two different concepts.
So, more power to you,
yes.
And may the force be with you.
Well, but again, when that's a very abstract concept, may the force be with you. It means may the force, the goodness of the whole universe be with you.
How about power? More power to you. What does that mean?
More power to you. Again, I think that's the whole purpose of this article.
Right.
More power to you. I think what this author is trying to say is when you use more power to you in the sense of power to control other people, events, situations, then it's not so good. But more power to you when the power emanates from inside of you and you're able to radiate power, and you do so without any malice or malevolence towards any other person or living thing. I think that's really the key. So
more
there's
to you, like you don't have enough.
There's 5 things left that I don't know if we're going to do them or not, but there's 5, I think, sort of instructions or suggestions. Well, I'm going to read them, but I don't know if you actually want to do them, because I think you should.
No, I usually
we should read them to your viewers and members, and then let them do them. I don't think we should sit here and do them. It's going to take too much time. Yeah. So here they go.
Peace, brother.
Huh?
More power to you.
Yeah. So here's what the author suggests after this essay. Again, and the essay is entitled More Power to You. Sit quietly and recall a recent situation in which you exerted control. That's pretty heavy stuff.
No, for me it was the cake that you brought home.
Why?
I exerted control over, taking that cake and letting it sit around the house where I went over. Every time I passed by it, I took a little nibble. I diced that thing up and put it right in the freezer.
Okay.
I have control over you, buttercream cake.
So what did having a sense of control do for you? Again, the third bullet point. What did having a sense of control require of you? How much of your need to control was necessary? And what would have happened if you let others join you on the hill of your control? And I think those are very, very enlightening contemplations, meditations to think about. And I would encourage all you folks out there on the interwebs to do just that. And after you do those ponder those 5 questions, why don't you drop us a comment or let us know what the answers were for you, and maybe we can all have a discussion about the 5 points of contemplation and or meditation.
And follow it up next
I want
week.
to turn the discussion back to my wife, Felicia Maria.
Hello.
There she
goes.
goes.
You hanging out, or you?
Well, I don't know. I think you should have the camera.
Oh, okay. I was just looking at this thing that I made.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
It came out so beautiful. It looks like the diamond glaze on top of it makes it look like those. Makes it look like the drills are like floating.
Hold on.
Oh my God, I love it.
If I may, people, let me just take one moment to turn the camera around to our big fat cat.
Where is he?
He's right there.
Oh, he's got.
Can we see him?
No, he's got a dirty look on him.
Where's he at? How come we can't see him?
He's right here.
Where? Point.
He's blending into the.
Oh, here he goes.
Foofy, say hello.
Foofy.
Come over here. He's on my Chippendale.
Let me see. Put your hand on him. Oh, there he goes. I can't see him.
What's the matter?
I can't see him.
He's so nasty in the morning. He's like me before I had coffee. He's so nasty. But at night, he's like Cuddlebug. He's me after coffee.
So I take it I cannot sit down at the piano and play music because they're going to give you a copyright strike if I play anything.
Well, if you play anything that's not, I don't even know anymore. I have no idea.
Well, I mean, I don't have to play someone's song. I could play whatever the hell I want. Just make something up.
See, here's how I understand things, because now all I do is get emails from YouTube and something else. Like this morning, I went over to the Creator Central, and now you see community was changed to posts. They're going to allow, I need to have an invitation. They're going to allow your community, and I can decide who gets this privilege also with myself, to put pictures on your post. So like if you want to comment, like one of my members said to me this morning, I want to show you what we were talking about in the member lounge yesterday about the Diamond Art Club pen. So she would have been able to put that in a comment and show me the picture without it going to an email. I can't really hear myself with you playing.
All right.
So I just don't want that to happen. So here's the thing with copyright. Even though it's your song, even if I have permission from you to use that, the thing is they're like, well, let's just say he decides to use this. He wants to sell it to a jingle. Like, you have a beautiful song that you wrote, and let me tell you, this is not depressing in any way. He wrote this beautiful song when his friend died, and it was played at the wake, at the funeral, at the wake.
They used it for the picture tribute.
Right. It's called Karma, right?
No. That one's called A Friend's Lament.
A Friend's Lament. It is so beautiful that I don't know if you want to say who died.
I wrote this song when my friend Dom Lero died, because I tried to write a song for Dom, and all of the lyrics just rang hollow. I couldn't capture Dom with words. So what I did was I wrote an instrumental, which I thought was for Dom Lero.
Right.
It wasn't. What I realized as time went by, I wrote that song for every single one of my friends who have passed away.
Yes.
And so I originally called that song My Friend Dom, and subsequently I changed it to A Friend's Lament because I wanted it to be more broad, because the first friend I lost, I spent my 22nd birthday at my friend Billy Diaguano's viewing. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, I've lost friends since about the age of 22. And
you lost Billy.
Yeah. When Josh was born.
And Josh was born. And
yeah,
we were both in the hospital. Me with my son. Billy with your friend.
Josh was born July 4th, 1986. No. He was in the hospital from July 6th to September 15th, because he didn't pass until that whole summer, and then Josh actually spent more than that whole summer. He didn't come home until October because he was born 16 weeks premature.
Josh was born July 4th, 1986. He came home November the 1st.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Right.
I'm done. We were both not, but I just wanted to say that, you wrote that song. Okay, so now here's where I'm trying to get to you with the whole thing with, but if he were, and this is for all my creators out there, if he wrote that song and he played it at his friend's wake, and it was so beautiful that he played it at they wanted to play it another wake, and it was just recently played.
My nephew, Mark, too.
Your nephew, Mark, and your mother. Didn't we play it at your mother's, too?
Yeah, of course.
We played it at your mother's. It's so beautiful that it's being asked to be used. So if he wanted to say yes to a funeral parlor and he wanted to sell it to them or whatever, now if it was on my video, they're going to say, "Oh, that's just been copyrighted. You're in trouble." Even though it came after me using it. If he would sell anything and it would become popular, so they're like, YouTube is like, don't think that because your friend wrote a song and said yes you can use it, you still have to get that copyright license on there. And trying to get my husband to find anything, forget it. He's not finding anything. Here, wait. Here, where's Murder Mittens? This is for Gabrielle. She said, "Where's Murder?" Look at him. Look. So, hi, Murder Mittens. Only I can touch you. Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, look at this. How cute. Oh my God. I'm gonna. Oh, you're so nasty. I'm gonna stop that film right there, and I'm gonna make a picture of that. He's so crazy because he can't sit with me the way that he used to.
Catnip. That's his problem.
I'm still working on my angel because I want to get him done. So I went and got the TV table now. You could see me in the mirror. I got the TV table now. I'm all over this house. I'm in my art room. I'm in the coffee room. I'm at my desk over here. Now I'm in the living room with this. But I'm so happy that he read this for us today. I am going to contemplate. Like, that was kind of like, what if I exuded control over? I mean, the cake was like one thing, but that was kind of like, and I don't know, like, when he says sit quietly and recall a recent situation in which you exerted control. Now, I can think of a more heavier situation where I exerted control. And it had to do with somebody in my family. And they said that they went and did this. And I was like, oh, no, you're going to turn that around. And that's not the way that it's going to go. Because I am involved in it. And I am not working with these other people in the family that I just don't get along with. And that they're in-laws. In other words, like, this is my family. And no, I'm not working with these people to attain this goal that you want, because I just don't, like my husband, we don't carry other people with us. If you want us to help you with something, we're not going to be part of a committee.
No, we're very much individuals and individualistic.
Because the committee is usually the ones that they don't want to do anything. They want to get together. They want to have a meeting. They want to push the papers, and then they don't get anything done.
The collective likes
we get it done.
The collective likes to give orders and say who's doing what and basically have control. And like my wife says, you can't get anything done that way. The only way you get things done, if you want something done, right? Do it yourself.
I sat through so many meetings when I was with a corporate company once in my life, and I was like, this is BS. I'm out, because I felt like all I did was sit in these meetings. I'm like, didn't we talk about this the last time? Like, who did what?
Let me know if you want to have some breakfast, because I
do want to have breakfast.
Right,
so
I don't know what we're having, but let me know.
What did a sense of control do for you? Well, I felt like you went, like, a family member went and put people in charge of things. And I was like, but their record. You know that they don't follow through. Why would you put them in charge of this? And then you went and you put your head on the pillow and you went to sleep and you didn't worry about nothing. But in the end, you're making more work for me, because I always come in, my husband comes in, and we do the cleanup. And so at this point, it was like, no, this person is not in control of this. You are going to rectify this, and I'm going to take care of it. And you're going to let them know that and I'm not part of a committee. You want them to be a part of it? Don't bring me in it. Because I kind of felt like, well, I put so-and-so in charge of this, but I'm letting you know because I know that you'll be the one to handle it. No. So, but did it make me feel good? No. I don't like having to tell people what to do. It's like, why don't you know what to do? You have the same experience that I have with these people. So why wouldn't you? Like, I see this now with my friend, okay? He just lost his mother. And he was in control of everything. He took care of her. She lived with him. He did everything for her. He stopped working like my husband did. My husband stopped working. He went out on FMLA and he had to take care of his mother. We were just dating and I loved Rita. I didn't know her very well. For all the years that I've known John, I did not know his mother or father very well. I knew of them, but I never interacted with them. And I loved Rita. We hit it off. She used to come down the steps on her little, what's that little chair, that stair climber? She used to come down and she used to be singing good morning, good morning, when we finally lived with her. But before we lived with her, John would call me up and he would be like, I just checked on my mother. I would put my shoes on immediately and I would start walking over there because she was only a couple blocks away to take care of things. And, he's a baby of 4 and the other 3 are the committee. So they're all telling you what needs to be done and they're not doing nothing. So, I just saw this with my friend too. And it's like, he's part of 3 siblings and he's in charge of everything, but they want to tell him what to do. And it's just, I don't like telling people what to do. And I don't know how you tell people what to do when they're doing everything anyway. You know what I mean? So the person that's doing everything is now having to tell the committee like, hey, I'm not working with you. And in this situation with a family member where I said, listen, you want them to be in control of this? First I said, no, they're not. I said, no, they're not going to be in control of this. I'm going to be in control of it. And you're going to tell them that I'm in control of it. And their input, they can shove it. I don't want it. And if you want them to have input, well, then I'm sorry. I'm not trying to control you. I'm just telling you for my own sanity, because I'm going to come in and do the cleanup anyway. I'm not a part of this. So you make a choice now. I guess maybe I did force the person to take a good hard look at the situation that they put and I think it's also like he said here, I think I heard John say here, a sense of powerlessness. Here it is. I can't be certain, but I'm fairly sure the wish here was for worldly power for more control. This is commonplace and disturbing, as the wish for more always issues from a sense of lack. So the wish for more power really issues from a sense of powerlessness. Well, that's not what I'm talking about. That's a sense of lack. This was more like, I'll do for you, but I need to take care of myself first. And always take care of yourself first. It's not selfish to take care of yourself first. If you don't take care of yourself first, I mean, everybody uses the analogy of being on the plane and the oxygen drop, put yours on first. It's a good analogy because you can't help someone else if you don't get oxygen. But there's an analogy in yoga, like, you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to put yourself on the list and you have to be able to fill your cup because you can't pour from an empty cup. But for me, it was, you're not going to run me into the ground. I need to take care of myself first. But there's pride in taking care of myself, but I don't feel good having to tell other people, like, open your eyes here. You didn't make a good decision here, and I'm not going to be a part of it. Because you have to turn your back on that person that you love very much, especially when it's a family member. I'm not going to be a part of this. I'm not. No. And I think that person put people that were not qualified in control of a portion of their life. It's like, well, she actually said to me, well, I feel bad. I feel bad to not ask them to do this for me. What do you feel bad about? They're not going to do it anyway. They have a track record of not doing it. So why do you feel bad that you're not including them? And I've seen this with my husband's family too. His mother put him in control of everything for a reason, because she put the other ones in control and they weren't doing what needed to be done. He was still doing it. And she said, listen, he was right. I'm putting him back in control. So what did having a sense of control require of you? Well, I guess it does require that you put yourself on the list, that you put yourself first, that it's not, selfishness is not a vice. Selfishness is a virtue. And I can have John go into that whole discussion next week if anybody is interested in what the hell I'm talking about, because that was a really hard one for me when I met my husband. And he just, we used to go out in the yard a lot, and we used to sit by the fire and we used to talk. And I was carrying something very heavy on my shoulders. And he looked at me like he was hearing me out a lot. We were dating. And he said, Elisa, be like Atlas and just shrug. And I was like, what? He's like, did you ever read Atlas Shrugged? I'm like, no. Now my husband has read it so many times that when he gave me the book, it was underlined. There was commentary on the side. It was like having Atlas Shrugged for Dummies and Cliff Notes in the book. And I said, I don't know what you mean by that. He's like, did you ever see Atlas with the world on his shoulders? You got to just shrug it off. And you know what? What's going to happen is going to happen anyway, because you can't control it. You can't control. You can't control their people. You can't control what they're thinking. You can't control what they're going to do. Everybody's got to walk their own path. So it required, for me, in the act of control that I'm thinking about, it required of me that I had to walk away. I had to shrug my shoulders, walk away, let them make all their decisions. And let me tell you, they saved me a world of grief that I wasn't involved in those decisions, because they would have, at one point, I was out having coffee with a friend, and this situation came up when I was in the thick of it. And my friend said, I need to take you to the hospital. We were sitting in a cafe having coffee. And he said, you are so red right now that you're actually scaring me. Your blood pressure is probably through the roof. And he was right. I should have listened to him. But that's what I mean. Like, you're looking at this person make a huge mistake, but you can't control them. Let them do it. What is it? There's a book out now called Let Them. I could take the author sometimes. I can't think of her name right now. I do listen to her sometimes. But sometimes she's a little bit too frenetic for me. Her energy is like all over the place. What's her name? Mel Robbins. I like Mel. She makes some good points. She has some good ideas. And sometimes it's just too frenetic for me, and I get like really worked up listening to her. And I'm like, I don't really think I want to be worked up like this when I'm listening to somebody. Give me advice on how I can maintain my own frenetic energy. But she had this thought, let them. And in that instance, Atlas shrugged, and I let them do whatever it is that they were going to do. And like I said, they saved my life in a way, because the same thing happened with John. He was at a Who concert, and he was having heart palpitations from the whole minutia that he was in with his family. And he's like, I had to leave the Who concert. He has a gorgeous Who shirt too. It's all embroidered with the Who emblem on it. And when they took him to the hospital, he said, please take my shirt off. Don't rip it off of me, because they thought he was having a heart attack. That's how much they had him crazy with him saying, like, are you nuts? Like, why are you putting this person in control here of your life? This is your life, and you're putting a person in control here, and they're not going to do for you what I'm going to do for you, and why are you overlooking me? So they did me a favor. I let them do what they wanted to do, and then I let them see for themselves that you made a bad decision here. And if you want me now to step in, I'm not stepping in to clean up the mess. I'm not stepping in to, fight with these people. You pick one. You pick the committee or you pick me. You make a choice. And I force them to make a choice out of selfishness. for myself, for my own life, for my own sanity. It's hard. What do they call it now? Tough love? It was tough love. How much of your need to control was necessary? Well, I think in this case, it was necessary because I love the person very much and I want to see them being taken care of. I want to see them not have to worry about these issues. It's like hiring an accountant or somebody to watch over your money. You want to be able to, you have to relinquish that control and know that they're working in your best interest. But if you think you know their track record and you're still putting them in control because like maybe they're another family member and you feel bad, you want to see them get the work, but you're not taking care of yourself. Okay? You're not putting the oxygen mask on. You're actually choking yourself. What would have happened if you let others join you on the hill of your control of your control? What would have happened? What would have happened was they would have put me in the hospital. That's what would have happened. So that's my 5 points of contemplation for Self-Care Sunday. And I only have to go back and take one section out. So I'll be able to edit this very quickly and get back to my diamond painting. John went upstairs to do what? I don't know. But I'm so glad that he was able to join us in this and give us his perspective. Tomorrow is Monday. So that's usually Member Monday. And I was telling my members one of the points that we made in the meeting that we had, the meetup that we had was, if you're thinking about becoming a member, we're going to be doing lives with me, the first Saturday of the month at 7 p.m. Now I had a thought yesterday, but it's in my notes in my phone, and I'm on my phone right now. So, with the member meetup, we were discussing if you want to become a member, that's one of the things that you can look forward to is being a part of these discussions and as the channel grows. And now YouTube is giving me this information, like I told you about the posts and the commentary and everything else, that you would be able to add pictures to your posts. I might just do that for members. Because they did say in what I reviewed this morning, you will be able to designate who you allow to post on your page, which is great because you have those same things. I don't know if you know or not, but on my Facebook page, but I'm never out on Facebook, you are allowed to set your settings, your privacy settings. I don't allow people to tag me and me not give them the okay. I don't allow certain language on my page or whatever. And that came, a lesson. Somebody had a post and it was like really kind of vulgar. And she tagged all her girlfriends. And I was like, don't tag me in this post. First of all, I'm a businesswoman. I have a few business pages. I had a restaurant and a cafe. I don't want to be tagged in this. And so I set my settings. So I think it's good that YouTube did say you can have some control here who posts on your page, because sometimes people just don't have a filter. And it's funny when you are in person with your friends and you understand that person and you're like, oh, I get their sense of humor, but not everybody does. So I don't want to have any kind of problem. And, I have to set the boundaries with my husband. He's been a bachelor most of his life, and he's a musician. He's been in all kind of scenes and bar scenes and stuff like that. And I'm like, you're not at the bar. You're on my channel. You can't tell this joke or you can't say this, So I only have one little section that I need to edit out, which I think is if we were in company together, it would have been okay. But because we would know each other and we would know, oh, this isn't going to trigger this person if I say this, but it may trigger somebody else. So I don't want that. So Monday was Member Monday. And I was taking out a canvas that I was doing with my members only. So 2024 ended and I had a bunch of canvases that I didn't finish. And I was like, I'm not going into 2025 with canvases, 2026 with canvases that are unfinished. And even though I still think I took on a lot for the week. So I was doing live members on Saturday. I was trying to do them every Saturday. I think it's just going to be too much, even with the spring weather coming in and people are getting outside, and it's not like you're hibernating indoors because the weather is crappy. You're going to want to be outside more. The days are longer. And so I was like, we're just going to do a live once a month. But the chosen canvas I did make public because it was coming to the end, and I wanted to make that a part of cleaning up with what you finish what you started. And so doing the masterclass for Ivan Valachovic, I was like, I can't believe I'm such a Kurtis freak that I didn't do a masterclass on Kurtis. And I was thinking, I'm going to find a Kurtis canvas that I can do. Well, I have one. I have one in my stash. It's called Daydreamer, and it was supposed to be for Mermaids in March, which is not happening because I took on the Ivan masterclass. But I'm like, I could still do a masterclass on Kurtis Rykovich as I finish Chosen. So I am going to take Chosen out on Mondays, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a artist. My master classes are basically getting to know the artist, and a little bit of background on him. I find Ivan Valachovic fascinating. I never thought I would be involved with AI generated art, but because he lays a photograph as a foundation, and uses AI to enhance, I was okay with that. With Kurtis Rykovich, I've said this a million times, I do watercolor, I do acrylic paint, I do gouache. I've never ventured into oil. He is an oil painter. And if you think that you love Kurtis Rykovich because you love what you see on Dreamer Designs, you ain't seen nothing. I'm like, please don't ever release these oil paintings to the public because I will have to sell my home. Probably both of them. My son will be on the street and I'll be making seashell necklaces on the beach because he's an amazing artist to me. So I think what I'm going to do with Member Monday is turn it into a masterclass for Kurtis. It'll be a public masterclass, of course. My members, however, are getting Tip Tuesday a week in advance starting this week. They already have this week's Tip Tuesday. So when you're getting this week's Tip Tuesday, they're going to get next week's Tip Tuesday. So they get that in advance if that is of interest to you in joining the channel. They also get a sneak peek of the upcoming whatever masterclass I'm working on. This one's kind of tight, so they're not going to, we just made this, decision during the Saturday discussion, Saturday member discussion that we had last night. I also shared with them behind the scenes videos from my trip to the Atlantic City Arts Garage and another theme for a discussion, like we do Self-Care Sunday here, but also another discussion based on Snow White. So if that interests you, that is up there. That's like probably my first behind the scenes look at things that I do outside of diamond painting. And we're coming up on an hour, so I'm going to say ta-ta, toodles. My husband's hungry. Got to make him lunch. I only fed him coffee. And I'm so happy that he was able to sit here and do this with us. I know you guys love him as much as I do. And you love listening to him speak. And you love having a male perspective that I think is so important. Because I'm all yinny and he's all yangy. He's got a lot of energy all the time. He hits the ground running. Me, I need like 3 espressos. Well, I'm actually up to quads now. So before I get the kind of energy that he has. And I will see you all tomorrow. We will be working on Chosen. And I'm going to give you a little backdrop on Kurtis. Thank you for being here. I love Self-Care Sunday. And I love that you love it. and leave a comment. If you got this far, drop me some kind of, what is it, an emoji, and anything that you want to ask me. You can always find my email in the description of every video, and I will see you as always in the next one, which will be tomorrow. Bye. Have a good Sunday. Have a good Sunday fun day. Create the world that you want to live in.